Hey guys, what's up? Brandon here, and welcome to the Lake Series. The whole purpose of this Lake Series is to, if you're new to Tulsa or you're new to fishing or just want to know more about the lakes in the area, that's what it's designed to do. So let's get into this week's lake. Okay, this is Lake Waxhoma. It's a 120 acre lake, fairly small, located northwest of Tulsa. It's like a 40 to 50 minute drive. And it's located just east of the town of Barnesdall, Oklahoma. No main river source here, more of a creek, and doesn't have a name. It's pretty small. This lake's really just dependent on rainwater. From what I heard, it provides water to roughly around 6,000 residents, I believe. And over its history, it hasn't really fluctuated that much, recent history, as far as the water getting outside the banks and getting too low or too high. It does flood more than it does get real low because of the spillway style dam. When it does flood, we can get a large rainfall, just that water keeping up with the spillway. It can get outside of its banks. And as recently as this spring, actually, the dam was breached. It was going over the dam. The spillway in all of this was damaged because of so much water flow through that little concrete spillway. It really just broke it. As you can see now, that it's falling apart and in need of a lot of repair. And from what they're saying is when they do repair this dam, it's going to be a total repair, not just a patch. So they will be looking at a whole new dam in spillway area for the flood control and just making sure they can keep up with the water demand of the residents around the lake. I don't know what that looks like as far as when they rebuild the whole dam. If there's some type of temporary dam put in place, I assume they don't drain the lake, but I really don't know. I know they've projected this project to be in the next couple of years at the earliest. As far as the boat ramp, it's down here in the corner by the dam. You come in on the bottom side of the dam and kind of goes up to this road here that drops you in. The boat ramp is fine. Well, once you actually back into the water, it seems to be unloads easy. There is, just because of how high this parking area is and the water runoff from rain runoff, you have a lot of ditches through here, which makes it a little bit tricky for backing a trailer in. And as far as I know, there's no motor restrictions. Okay, so as for lake breakdown, this lake has a lot of, from what I can tell, has a lot of Eurasian milfoil, at least milfoil, some type of submergent grass. It has a little bit around the banks in the summertime as well, but a lot of it's just under the water. The lower end by the dam, this is probably the deepest spot. It almost is like a swimming pool. It's a big hole here that gradually falls into it. And then as you move up to more of the mid lake, it kind of just flattens out and kind of gets shallower and shallower. The mid lake offers probably the best fishing because of the river channel up tight against the rocks here with the grass growing out to the center. And then as you get to the lower end, it gets pretty flat, but still has some drop with a good grass edge kind of coming around this bend here, and then flattens out, getting pretty shallow back here. We got lots of laydowns and just stick-ups back in here that are fishable. Another benefit of this lake is it is mapped. It's a Navionics Humminbird, and I'm assuming Garmin, but I can't verify that for sure. Max depth is around 37 foot, so pretty good depth in this lake. As for species, the species in the lake has largemouth, crappie, catfish, and I'm sure sunfish. No stocking report that I could find going back to 2015, but based off the vegetation in this lake, most lakes that have vegetation grow bigger bass, and from the stories I've heard and being on this lake, I'm pretty sure that's the case in this lake. It probably has some pretty good sized bass just with that vegetation. No tournament data that I could find. Being so small, I don't even know how well it could host kayak tournaments. I'm sure it has and can, but It's really kind of on the edge, in my opinion, to being pretty crowded. Okay, so some areas that I kind of focused on, especially being here in fall, winter time, was right in here. Really, this obviously creates a point. When you have a channel swinging against the point, that's going to be a high percentage area. And actually, right off the end of this point, right in here, I actually found a bunch of crappie. So able to catch a few crappie in here, and then the river channel kind of turning a little bit here, but pushing down this bank with the wind and the rock. I knew there was a transition here, so I basically fished a crankbait all the way down this bank and caught several fish. And the time I've been there in the summer, that grass edge right there, just looking in those areas, especially if you have a live scope, being able to actually see the fish moving in that area. But even if you don't, just 2D seeing where the grass edge is and trying to fish it, is a good spot all around through here. I haven't spent a lot of time in this area here just because it is so flat. I'm sure on this bank as well, depending on wind and season, this could be a pretty good bank. I assume they all spawn back in here, maybe up on here. I'm not real sure on this lake so small. They could spread out all over the lake. Another spot I found is right here by the dam, by that water intake. There was a bunch of crappie. I mean, more than I found over here. Bunch of crappie just glued to that inlet. But overall, this lake, like I said, it has a bunch of grass in it. But with that grass, it makes it a really strong, even though it's small, it makes it a really powerful lake, which is probably going to hold a lot of good sized bass. As always, guys, thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next one.